Hey everyone, I am Gary of the Elysiums. Today we have a new CD purchases update video to get to. Now before we start this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like this video, feel free to share this video. All that stuff helps support my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now just to let you know, recently I've been on a kind of an 80s kick. So a lot of the stack is 80s. Not all of it, but you know, it's all stuff I like, and hopefully you guys like too. That's why you're watching this video. But when I say 80s, I'm more in the 80s like indie and 80s punk. Little new wave, you know, it's you know, dark wave, kind of that stuff. And there's some, you know, really classic albums here that I haven't owned, and I'm glad to finally have them for the first time, like this first one here, Entertainment from Gang of Four. I've always seen this album. I listened to it a few times before. I've always seen this album in some of the magazines for, you know, greatest albums of all time, the books and all that. So I finally pulled the trigger and bought it. I don't know why I always skipped over this. This is a 1995 EMI remaster, printed in Holland. It's a Holland release. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this is a highly influential album from the 1980s. Influenced a lot of bands that would come out of the 90s. Helped influence a lot of alternative rock. It's punky, it's indie, it's alternative. Even touches a new wave on this. So glad I finally have this in my collection, and you know, I'll be getting to know this album a lot more. Next up, we have Yazoo, You and Me Both. The only album I own by Yaz is Upstairs at Eric's, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great album. This is the follow-up released in 1983, so I figured, absolutely, let's pick this up, and you know, that way I can get more into this band. Like I said, Upstairs at Eric's is definitely their best album. It's absolutely incredible. So looking forward to putting this on, spinning this, and becoming more familiar. All right, Simple Minds. I was looking for some studio albums by them, but I only found this. This is a compilation, kind of a greatest hits, called Glittering Prize. As you can see there, 81 to 92. This is a club version. Oh, I just knocked something over there. The next thing we're going to show. Simple Minds obviously had the huge hit single, Don't You Forget About Me. It was featured in The Breakfast Club, that iconic 80s movie. So looking forward to checking out this album, and I think it's cool that it spans 81 and 92 because you'll hear the beginnings of the band, you'll hear the prime of the band, and then you'll hear them transitioning into the 90s and seeing what it sounds like. Apparently, I looked this up, and there was four albums, for their beginning albums, for the first albums, I should say, that were omitted from this compilation. I don't know the reason why, but apparently it was a kind of a different sound that I read. So I don't know what that's about. Next up, from Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Blood and Chocolate. This is a 1986 album. However, this is a remaster from 1995, I'm going to say. 1995 Ryko disc remaster, which actually features an EP, extended play. 6 more songs on the album. Adding to my Elvis Costello collection. I absolutely love Elvis Costello. I think he has a great voice. You know, especially his early stuff. You know, My Aim Is True, Imperial Bedroom. Just such good stuff. I love his writing. Not really a fan of more of his recent stuff and his modern day stuff. But I just try to collect more of his stuff, and maybe I'll get into it more one day. My all-time favorite from Elvis Costello is Armed Forces, so it's kind of going to be hard to top that for me. Next, we have the Bugles, The Age of Plastic. 1980 release. This is a remastered version from Island Records. The Bugles are most known for having the first song ever played on MTV, and its Video Killed the Radio Star. Their biggest hit. I was listening to this in the car on the way back today, and it's pretty good album. I like it a lot. The song Kid Dynamo I could kind of do without. But Clean Clean, Elstree, Astro Boy, I like those songs a lot. They was really good. The Plastic Age, which opens it. So I'm looking forward to listening to this more and getting more familiar with it. So on first listen, I really like this. All right, this one I had no clue what it was, but I just picked it up. G.G. Elvis and the TCB Band, I guess taking care of business. A punk Elvis tribute. So I was looking at this, and it's all Elvis covers. You know, I'm a huge Elvis fan, and when I saw this, I didn't know what it was. It is a CD DVD combo. I don't even know what's on a DVD because it doesn't tell you. But I gotta pop it in and find out. I don't know if it's gonna be like live performances or what. But yeah, at the cover, as you can see there, we have G.G. Allen's tombstone, Elvis Presley's tombstone, and that's where the name G.G. Elvis comes from. So I was like, it was $3, and I was like, yeah, let me pick this up and find out what it's about. I feel like if I hate it, it's worth to just keep for the band name and the cover. It's pretty cool. Next, we have the Pretenders, live in London. Again, this is another CD DVD combo. DVD does feature the entire album live, except for 2 tracks, which are only on the CD. 2 of their biggest hits, I'll Stand By You and Brass in Pocket. 22 tracks live. This is, what year is this from? 2010. I would say it's recent, but that's 15 years ago. But to me, 2010 is actually recent, especially with the Pretenders, who debuted with their debut album in 1980. So I don't have anything besides I Love You. I don't have anything from Pretenders that's live, so it's cool to have this. I picked this up. Vital Idol from Billy Idol. This is the remastered version. I have the original version. I just thought that the pink spine stood out. You know, I'm weird. I like spines. It just like, I don't know, it just stood out to me, and I wasn't going to get it, and I went back, and I was like, let me grab it. I have the original version, but I need it remastered, right? Why not? I just recently bought the, not recently, but within the last probably year they came out, the newly remastered 2 CD versions of Billy Idol's self-titled debut album and Rebel Yell, and I figured, why not throw Vital Idol in there? It looks a little better. The spines come together better. All right, this band I'm actually not a fan of, but this record, I do like a song off of it, and I do have a couple of their CDs because I've tried. It's like an emo pop punk band, pretty famous. Good Charlotte. The Motivation Proclamation, I really like that song. I remember when it came out, I actually saw the video in the morning before going to school. I think I was like a senior or something in high school, and that video was on, and I was like, I'm not supposed to like this, because at that time, well, not really. I feel like all my life, probably early on, I was like, I'm not supposed to like this, I'm not supposed to like that. But I feel like by a senior in high school, it was like, I don't care, I'm liking everything. I remember going on a class trip. I think we actually went to Disney World, and I was sitting in the airport reading a Rolling Stone magazine with Prince on the cover, and my friend was like, dude, you're so weird. Like, you like Prince, you like Slayer, you like the Beatles, you like Tupac, like, you're all over the place, but you like Prince, you're weird. But yeah, I've always been that way. I like what I like. I'm not afraid or ashamed, embarrassed to say I don't like a certain artist. But like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this band. Super cool guys. I met them. I mentioned that before. I met them at an autograph signing, because a friend of mine actually was a big fan and wanted to get their autograph. I just went with them. But yeah, I met these guys. Super cool guys. And like I said, I really do like that song. Next up, P.O.D. This is their self-titled album, Payable on Death. And that is what P.O.D. stands for those of you that are unfamiliar. This is not their debut album. I believe that's Snuff the Punk. This is the follow-up to Satellite, which was their biggest album and featured the huge hit Youth of the Nation and Alive. Kind of put the band on the map. Yeah, more new metal. 2003 release, so unfortunately this came out as nu metal was already dying off. It was very short-lived. But I actually never listened to this album, so excited to see this, and it cost me $1, so why not? This is a cool dollar find. This is New Order with the Bizarre Love Triangle single. It's actually 5 tracks on here. There's the album version, the extended dance mix, the I Don't Care dub mix of Bizarre Love Triangle, and then we have the song State of the Nation and a single remix of State of the Nation. So this is a 1986 release. I don't know if this single is actually from 1986. I feel like it looks a little more modern than to be 39 years old. So I don't know if this CD came out later or what, or it is an original pressing. I should have looked it up. But either way, when I saw this, I was like, I gotta have that. I love New Order, and you know, I love finding singles of songs I like. I just think they're cool, especially when there's a couple different tracks. And I always pick up a single of a song I like. I don't know why. I just love collecting them. Next up, B-52s, good stuff. This is their 1992 release, follow up to Cosmic Thing, and follow up to their biggest song, Love Shack. I'm a B-52s fan. I like them a lot. I think they're very interesting. Really cool art rock band that does stuff that no other bands can do. And I've never heard this album, and I do not own it in my collection. I know this is one of the ones I didn't own, and Funplex. I don't think I have Funplex. So I obviously had to pick this up because I was like, hey, I don't own that, and I like the B-52s. Let's pick this up. But the B-52s, their debut album, is one of my favorite debut albums of all time. I think it's absolutely ahead of its time. Came out in the late 70s, and they used like a literal toy piano on it, and you know, you have weird sounds. It's just like, it's genius. And Love Shack, come on, never got old for me. All right, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, the best of OMD. So the only 2 big songs I know from this band are Enola Gay and If You Leave. Great songs. Again, I was looking for a studio release from OMD, but I found this, the best of, so I figured, why not pick this up? You know, that way I have something from the band. I don't believe I own anything from them, even though I'm a fan of them and I've known them for a while. 18 tracks on there. Sorry about the glare. So I have this in my collection now. Don't judge me this next one. It was 50 cents, and I picked it up, and I was like, why not? At Worst, the best of Boy George and Culture Club. Listen, I don't care. Like I said, I'm not ashamed to say that I like what I like. Do you really want to hurt me? I always liked that song. Well, I didn't really pay attention to it. I obviously knew it, but ever since The Wedding Singer came out, I always liked that song, and I kind of giggle when it comes on, just thinking it's George, who was what was his name? Alexis Arquette, I think. I know he passed away, which is crazy. But when he would do that in the movie, I thought it was so funny. Karma Chameleon's on here. That's still catchy. I'll Tumble for You. They're the 3 big hits I know from this. But yeah, don't judge. You listen to music for music. Next up, we got Squeeze. This is Babylon and On. Later release from Squeeze. This is a 1987 release. Besides, like, was it East Side Story and singles, I don't know anything else from Squeeze. So when I saw this for $1, I was like, yeah, let's pick it up, let's listen to it. And you know, it's a great band. They're I feel like they're a critically acclaimed band, but they're not that popular except for Tempted, which is a super huge song, super huge single from the band. So I'm interested in finding some more else about that. Another one by Elvis Costello and the Attractions. This is Almost Blue, which I didn't really know a lot about this album. 1981 release. Looks like it's all cover songs. Could be mistaken, but going through the booklet, I saw that I didn't actually, well, besides Tonight the Bottle Let Me Down, the Merle Haggard song, looking at the titles, I didn't really recognize any of them. And then looking at the songwriting credits, it looks like it's all covers on this. And, you know, as big as a fan of Elvis Costello as I am, I only really, I'll admit, I love a lot of his albums, but I didn't really love his really popular albums, like I said already, with the, you know, My Aim Is True, Imperial Bedroom, Armed Forces, you know, stuff like that. This Year's Model. So I unfortunately don't know about this, and this being an early release from Elvis Costello. This was cool. Another Planet, The Replacements Live. This is a FM broadcast recorded at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York, July 18th, 1987. Features 31 tracks on here. The band usually didn't finish their songs, which is why there's so many on here. But it's cool because this is like, there's a lot of stuff from Tim, a lot of stuff from Let It Be, including Gary's Got a Boner. That's where I got my name from. No, I'm joking. But if you didn't see my last video, which was a review of the album Tim by The Replacements, which is my favorite Replacements album. It's absolutely incredible. Go check it out. I think you might find a little interest in the band Replacements, and especially the album Tim. And it's basically almost every song off of Tim on here, you know, plus more. Another one from the B-52s. This is Mesopotamia. This is an EP from 1982, excuse me. Only 6 tracks. Don't know much about this. Don't really know the songs off of here, except for Mesopotamia. I know that song. So, again, this is like new prime B-52s for me, which is cool. It's like listening to music for the first time again. All right, this album I rebought because my copy was just so scratched and skipped so much, so I got another one of that. Minor Threat, complete discography. Got the yellow cover here. The copy I have already has the blue cover, but like I said, the CD was so scratched. I remember buying it used in like a bargain bin, so it was already like not in best shape when I actually got it back. What? Probably in the late 90s. 26 tracks on here. I mean, this is just like one of the essential punk albums. So good. So influential. And there you see the Out of Step album, the cover of that. Ian MacKaye. Such a great artist. And a lot of these songs were actually covered by Slayer on the Undisputed Attitude album, including Filler, I Don't Want to Hear It, and Guilty of Being White. Yeah. Super awesome album. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. If you don't know about it, why don't you know about this? Go check it out. I'm sure you'll love it. Even if you're not a punk fan, if you're a metal fan, you'll hear the influences that from Slayer and different thrash artists that took from that. Next up, we have The Damned with Machine Gun Etiquette. This is the second release I own by Damned. The only other album I own by them is Damn Damn Damn, the debut album. This is supposedly an iconic album for the band. Their third album. It's a little more pop in there than punk, apparently. I guess they're inventing pop punk. This is obviously a remaster from 2004. That's a cool picture of the band. Unfortunately, that looks like it could be the World Trade Center on fire, which is not cool. But again, this is 1980 or 1979 maybe. So long before that happens, as you can see the Empire State Building back there. Cool photo of the band. Just jamming out. Cool. Then we have this one, The English Beat. What happened? What happened? What happened? I owned one album from them. I thought it was pretty cool, and when I saw this for $1, I said, let me pick this up, because I don't own this one either. Couldn't tell you a lot about the band. Like I said, the one CD's, the title is escaping me right now, but I did like it. I thought it was really cool. So yeah, curious to find out what this is all about. 12 tracks in here. AM and IRS Records release. If you know more about this, drop in the comments, let me know. And last one we have for today is the Psychedelic Furs, All This and Nothing. Yeah, I told you it was going to be heavy on the 80s. This is a 1988 release, compilation from the Psychedelic Furs. Features their two biggest hits, Love My Way and Pretty in Pink. And what was the All That Money Wants was the new single recorded for this album, which is on here. Like I said, the rest was previously unreleased, as this is their first official compilation released through Columbia Records. Good to have this. I have like the best of the Psychedelic Furs, but I feel like this is gonna be a little different. It's gonna be it's not gonna include some of their later stuff, as this was released in 1988. So it probably collects them in the peak of their popularity. All right, everyone, that is my latest new CD purchases. I know it is a lot. I apologize, and thank you for sticking through this whole video if you have. Like I said at the top of this video, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, all that cool stuff. I'd appreciate it. All right, everyone, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.